get to meet him?" She said, "Yeah, yeah." I'm like, "Okay." So I walk in, and there's a Larry, and Larry goes, "Hey, Wanda, I know that tush anywhere." And I was like, "What the fuck did you just say?" And I said, "Why would you say that?" And we just got into it. He goes, "You got the job." I'm like, "What?" Like she tricked me
Did he say
into
we were
auditioning.
rolling?
Yeah. I was funny at the NSA. I was funny at the NSA. I killed.
Think of the huge security
NSA.
breaches.
That's a
Yeah.
great sentence.
Think of the terrorists that
Yep.
weren't caught because you were busy joking around.
Yeah. Yeah.
So you were funny. You were funny at work, and did you have people around you saying, "Hey, you got to get up there. You got to go
I
do"?
did. Yeah, I did. But I was serious about the job, but it was, we would have a good time.
Yeah.
But I also knew it got to a point where I was like, I can't do this. This is not going to be my life, because you would see, the people who was on their way out to that retirement thing, and that one dude, he would just look at the stocks. That's all, all day. And I was like, saving America, aren't we staying? It's like, yeah, here we go. Saving America. That's right.
What was your big break? You're doing comedy, and then you did was it a contest you entered, or was it the Coors Light?
Coors Light Super Talent Showcase.
Yeah. Okay.
Showcase, their radio station in DC, sponsoring it. And I was like, let me write some jokes and go audition for this
So you're
thing.
still at the NSA at this point?
Oh, yeah, I'm still at the NSA.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so you go up, you do this, you enter, and how did it feel? Did it feel right away?
It did.
Yeah.
It felt right. Like, oh, wow, okay. These people are, you get that first laugh, and it's like, oh, okay. This works. Yeah, I didn't win, but I was really happy with the way it went, and it felt like I belong here. And Andy Evans, he was the MC, and he was like, "Where did you come from? I haven't seen you in the comedy clubs or anything." I was like, "Yeah, I haven't been to a comedy club."
Yeah.
And he was like, "Okay," he just became my mentor. He would show me around comedy clubs and would work with me on material and stuff. So yeah, everything just felt right.
And then I know that
Then I bombed silly the next time.
Right,
Yeah.
right, which is classic.
Like
Which is classic.
Like people turned their chairs around. It
my
was.
God.
And they were bolted to the floor.
Yeah, exactly. It was just like, I gotta get up.
You can just get up and turn around.
No. Fam, you could just leave. No, I gotta make a real statement.
Was that a bit of a level up for you?
Yeah. By that time, I left the NSA and was living in Jersey, I guess, to be closer to New York. And I opened for Chris Rock when he was about to do Bring the Pain.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was a big come up for me, I guess, because he remembered me when he got his talk show.
Yeah.
And
Chris Rock show.
So yeah, and asked me to submit some writing samples.
Yeah, so you were a writer on the Chris Rock show, which was great, and then you guys win the Emmy, which is still very bitter for me because I know we were nominated, and then Chris gets up and says, "Well, I think Conan should have got this," and I wanted to stand up and say, "Then why can't I have it?"
Oh my God!
But
and when Chris said that, we all went, "Shut up, Chris!
Shut up, Chris!" But if you can't be bitter when the Chris Rock show wins. You just can't be. It was so great, and so I
that must if you want to win that NAACP Image Award, you can't. That would slip right through your fingers too. Didn't
I was so close, but I stood up in the audience and I said, "Why?
Oh God.
Why?" And then I think I said on camera, "When will the white man get a break?"
Oh no!
Which was a mistake.
Yeah.
Remember that? And then you were like, "Conan," and I'm like, "You're right."
That Conan.
I just saw
that
it.
was a bad idea.
It's been thousands of years. When is it our turn?
Oh wow!
But anyway,
you.
People are now looking. Did I really say that? No. What did you learn working in a writer's room?
With AI, I can make it look like you did.
Do it.
When did you? Because I always think, I don't know if you had the same experience, but once I got into a writer's room, I felt like I had been fish that had been flopping around in the desert for the first, 20-something years of my life, and then someone put me into a pond. That's what it felt like to me. Did you feel that way about being in a writer's room?
You know what? I was the only female writer, and the guys that I was with, they were so supportive. Um, so yeah, so I kind of just felt like I was at home. You know, they actually, you know, who was a really big help because I would write things, and they were just like these long monologues, and Louis C.K. He was on the show, and he looked at my stuff. He goes, "Wanda, you have a lot of jokes," and he knew me as, you know, from stand up.
Right.
He goes, he said, instead of writing these long rants, he said, look at the newspaper and just write a joke on an article. That's all. He said, this is what this is. He says, and then, you know, if you got a sketch bit, do that. Okay, great. And then every week I was just getting jokes in, you know, because you show up and you think, oh, I'm writing for Chris Rock, so I need to write this big long monologue. You don't think that it's just
kind of a rant,
throwaway jokes. Yeah,
I need to write like this thing that goes on for a couple of pages.
Right. So he then once I got it, I'm like, okay, you know, I can follow directions. I got it.
What's a real discipline too, because on Saturday Night Live they used to say, we'd do all our weird sketches in the week, and then on Saturday they would say, come in the morning and write weekend update jokes. And just to supplement, you know, whatever.
Back to stand up, and I was working on my hour, and that's when I think Tongue Untied probably came out.
That process of getting an hour, I don't think people realize, because now the way entertainment works, streaming, the minute someone has an hour, sometimes even before they really have an hour.
Before they have an hour,
when they have 20 minutes, they need to come out with their hour special. And the minute it comes out, people can say, that was great. Where's the next one?
Right.
And it used to be, if you think about the history of this whole thing, people would develop vaudeville. They develop their hour and do it for 40 years.
Yes.
And now that was great.
Yeah.
And so it's like a band that has their first album and it's everything they've been playing all those years. And people are like, that's fantastic. We need the next album in 6 months.
Yep. Yeah. Exactly.
And they're like, huh? I can't. So that's a huge achievement to get that first hour.
Yeah. And I'm, you know, I take at least 3 years. I think 3 years is the shortest time that I've turned around and did another hour. I usually take at least 4 or 5 years. You know, you tour with it. You gotta, I mean, you know when it's special. I mean, sometimes there's hours and then it's special. And I remember when I shot my first hour, the advice Chris Rock gave me, he said, make sure it's special. Don't go up there and do a set, do a special. Like, okay, all right. Well, and then, you know, thinking about it, I was like, okay, now I get what he was saying. Because, you know, you can watch some stuff and you go, okay, that was an hour.
Yeah. You legally,
it was an hour.
You legally met the requirement.
Yes, exactly. Great job. They clocked in. Dancing with the stars.
Curb Your Enthusiasm. Obviously, you have such a strong, undeniably unique comedic voice, and I can tell, like, you with Larry is just, if someone, long before you did it, if someone had just said Wanda and Larry, I'd have been like, oh yeah, that has to happen. Is that how you felt when that came about?
I you know, big fan of the show.
Yeah.
And I knew that one of the producers on the show, and she said, oh, we got to get you on there. And I'm like, okay, I would love to. I said, but look, I can't audition. I said, I'm horrible at, you know, in the audition process. And I said, and I don't, it'll just kill me if I like just not funny in front of Larry David. I can't. Please don't put me through that. I said, I'm just gonna be a fan of the show. She's like, okay, all right. And then she said, hey, we're shooting around the corner, you know, from you. So why don't you come over to this car dealership because we're shooting here, and Larry just wants to say hi. I said, oh, I get to meet him? She said, yeah. I'm like, okay. So I walk in, and there's a Larry, and Larry goes, hey, Wanda, I know that tush anywhere. And I was like, what the fuck did you just say? And I said, why would you say that? And we just got into it. He goes, you got the job. I'm like, what? Like she tricked me.
Did he say we were rolling? Hey, by the way, we were rolling. What is so funny, that's hilarious, but also when you hang with Larry, you're in the show. He is that guy. Yeah. And you can be with him just hanging out at a party, and he'll come in with a plate of food, and you're talking to people, and you're like, don't you kind of hate it when people interrupt you with a plate of food and you're like, you're doing a bit. You're doing a bit. And he's like, no, I'm just saying. You're like, there's no camera here. Right. But it's delightful because you get to be, if you're in his life, you're on that show. in some way.
Okay. Yeah.
That's how it feels like. But yeah, you were just perfect.
Yeah. I enjoyed it, but I don't like being around him though. You know, honestly,
Wanda, nobody does.
So right?
Nobody does.
He likes making you feel uncomfortable. And I like at lunch, I'm walking in and I see him coming, and I'm like, oh shit, you know. I don't want to sit with him. I don't want to eat with Larry.
He always has to eat alone.
I don't want to eat with him. I go sit over with the grips. I'm like, I'm not. No.
Love that.
No, we should make it clear. No one wants to hang out with him.
All right.
He's always alone.
Okay.
He's always alone.
All right.
Because I think he loves to be annoying. He just loves to. I mean, he loves that, hitting that frequency. And he's so good at it.
He's the best. The best.